Welcome to the Tips and Tricks series for the Berkeley publisher. In this playlist, you will be learning some of the more professional tricks of the Berkeley publisher to fully master your skills in developing decision trees. If this is the first Berkeley publisher tutorial that you watch, I would highly recommend that you check out our other series first. Click here to start learning the basics of the Berkeley publisher, or if you are a more experienced user, click here to go to the Advanced Tutorial series. In the first video of this series, you will learn to use one of the handiest features in the Berkeley Studio, functions. As illustrated in the Advanced Tutorial video for Advanced Source, functions are built-in shortcuts that are often used in the drafting of decision trees with the Berkeley Studio. They serve as handy tools to quickly insert something that would otherwise be an easily time-consuming endeavor. You can compare functions to using substitution in basic math, in which x or y is a function. By making use of this substitution, we can insert a lot more complex calculations into an existing calculation that still looks pretty simple. In this tutorial, we will be going over a number of often used functions of the Berkeley publisher. That means that I will not be explaining every single function individually. If you have any questions concerning specific functions, you can always explore the documents containing all the functions that are available in the Berkeley Studio, which is linked in the information below this video. Before we go on to the discussion of functions, the following two tutorials will be divided into 4 categories of functions: date, text, calculation, and miscellaneous functions. Let's start with the first topic, date. As the title implies, these are all functions that are related to days, months, and years. Most of the functions in this category were already discussed in the advanced tutorial on Advanced Source. If you want to have a refresher on how you can use these functions in the source window, click this annotation to go to that video. If you've watched this advanced tutorial not too long ago and still remember all the functions used in this video, you can skip to the next category by clicking here. However, because the general use of functions is also explained in this first category, it is recommended that you continue watching. The first function is add days. In short, add days literally adds days to an inserted date. As you can see, the function consists out of 2 parts, the name of the function and the input for the function. For this function, you need to insert a date and the number of days you want to add. To illustrate what exactly this means, let's take a look at how this function can be used in a model. Right here, I have a very simple model set up. First, the application asks you for a date and a number of days you want to add to this date. With this information filled in, the days are added to the original date, giving you the newly computed date. This is all done by means of a very easy calculation. If I open up the calculation in this model, you will see that I have selected a function instead of a variable or value. This can be done by clicking the 3 dotted button and selecting one from the drop-down menu. This menu, in which you can edit the function, shows not only an explanation of the selected function, but also the appropriate syntax as well as an example of how the function can be used. Here, you can also select the input for the function. In other words, we can select the date and the number of days you want to add to this date. If your application includes a question asking for these variables, you can refer to them by selecting them in the drop-down menu like I did. You can also make the input more static. For example, if you just need to add a week to the inserted date, you can enter 7 in the value box. This is completely up to you. The number of days could also be a negative number. In this case, the function will return a date in the past. Next to add days, there are similar functions for adding months and adding years. These work almost exactly the same and will therefore not be discussed any further. Next up is the function age. This function computes the difference in years between 2 inserted dates. Therefore, it is often used to calculate a person's age. To quickly illustrate, let's take a look at the publisher model used in the Advanced Source tutorial. In this model, I made a calculation that uses the age function. The syntax of this function is @date, from date, meaning that you will need 2 dates to insert into this function. To calculate someone's current age, you can have 2 questions, one that asks for the date of today and one that asks for the user's birthday. If you put in the variables in the edit function window, or insert a static value between apostrophes, the difference in years will be computed. Moving on, we have the function dateText. This function converts date according to a specific format, such as day, month, year, into a date in text. To illustrate, let's immediately move on to a calculation window in the Berkeley Publisher. The syntax of this function includes two inputs, a date and the format of the text. You should know by now how to insert a date by value or variable, so we'll move on to the string format. This decides what the resulting text will look like. For example, if we insert day, month, and 4Ys, we will get the standard format for a date. But if we were to insert 1 day input, 4 month inputs, and 4 year inputs, the numerical months are now converted to text. The different kinds of format strings that decide whether the name appears in numerical output or text can be found in this help window. Because the rest of the functions in the date category are quite straightforward, we will be going through them in a bit more rapid tempo. Next on the list is the function day-of-week. This function retrieves the number of the day of the week for a specific date given. For example, if I would want to know on which day of the week my birthday would be this year, I can find it by inserting my birthday into the function. This will result in a number that corresponds to a day of the week. An important thing to keep in mind is that the publisher reads Sunday as the first day of the week. This means that the number 2 represents Monday, 3 Tuesday, and so on. The function days finds the day of the month for an inserted date. Although this might sound redundant because we can already read it from the inserted date, it can be helpful in calculating the difference in days between two dates. This was, for example, a vital part of exactly calculating someone's age in the advanced source tutorial. Similar to add days, the days function also has copies for months and years, which work in the same way. Another function, named first of month, returns the first day of the month in which the inserted date occurs. For example, if I were to insert the 25th of November 2014, the output would be the 1st of November 2014. Similarly, you have functions for the first of the year, but also the last day of the month in which the inserted date occurs. Finally, we have the very commonly used function now. The purpose of this function is very simple. It returns the date of today. As you can see, this function is one of the few that does not need an input. The now function is often used in combination with other functions relating to date, such as the age function, in which one of the two dates can be the date of the day. This function also has a function that is more specific, called nowTime. As the title implies, this function also returns the time on which the function is used. And those are the most used functions in relation to calendars, dates, and days of the week. Continue to the next video to learn more about the functions for the other categories, the functions for text, calculations, and more.